Ah, the sound of a motorcycle. There's really nothing quite like it. Well, sometimes. It's been a while since a motorcycle came along with a sound that really just took you to a different place. This is mainly because of the crackdown on emissions over the past 10 years. Motorcycles are just sounding sort of like each other. Like they're all kind of just sounding the same. But today we're looking back at some of the best sounding motorcycles of all time. And more than that, we're looking at 6 motorcycles that in terms of sound were way ahead of their time. Some of you guys aren't going to believe these, so stick around and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Also, I'm going to show you guys a motorcycle that is actually current and sounds incredible that you probably haven't seen. So let's jump in. Now this one might shock many of you, but there was actually a 4-cylinder motorcycle on the market in Great Britain all the way back in 1931. Now there have been other 4-cylinder motorcycles, including bikes like the Henderson motorcycle, available even before then, but in terms of sound, this motorcycle was just way ahead of its time. More than 40 years before the iconic CB750 came out, there was this incredible 4-cylinder roar on a bike that looks incredibly old. Now obviously the sound is a bit different because of things like exhaust and just the square configuration. But seriously, listen to this thing. It basically sounds like a 4-cylinder motorcycle strapped to an old-timey British bike. Alright, fast forward a few years to 1966, Honda turned the racing world on its head with this bike, the RC166, a 250cc 4-stroke 6-cylinder engine revving up to a ridiculous 20,000 RPMs. This bike was incredibly successful in its class, but more importantly, it sounded like an absolute dream with those tiny 6 little pistons just flying around. Now we mentioned the Aerial Square 4, so let's look at the massively successful inline 4 of the Honda CB750, one of the greatest motorcycles of all time and one of the greatest sounding motorcycles of all time as well. The biggest difference between this bike and the Square 4 was its ability to really rev. So take a listen. Now you've heard of the Triumph Trident, the latest bike released by Triumph, but many probably don't know that the name is taken from Triumph's first 3-cylinder engine. The original bike was produced from 68 to 75, but sadly it was overshadowed a little bit by the CB750, both in sound and performance and price. But as we know, triples would become a massive part of the market, especially into the 2000s and especially now. So it's crazy to hear one of the original production triples and see how similar it is to today's triples. Obviously it doesn't rev quite as high, but yeah, give it a listen. Now, there's much debate about the best sounding motorcycle engine of all time, but many point to the Honda CBX 1050, the motorcycle that literally sounds like an F1 car. This was a motorcycle that wasn't even ready for its own engine. Like, it was unbelievably fast and powerful, and the chassis literally couldn't handle it. Regardless, it sounds like something out of this world, and I kid you not, I cannot get enough of listening to this thing just fly down the road. Alright, last on our list is a bike that is yet to be fully released at this point, and that is the Tarform. So this is an electric motorcycle that is quick, has good range, and is in the process of being produced. Now you might be like, wait, I thought electric vehicles made no sound. Well, not every electric vehicle is the same as, say, a Tesla, and it's not always just the sound of the chain that you're hearing. So the way Tarform makes sound is by basically extracting the frequencies from the motor, like from the battery, and then amplifying them, much like, as their founder has explained, the way an electric guitar works. So this gives the Tarform such an interesting sound in comparison with the other electric motorcycles that are available. Most of them either make no noise or just sort of a whine that I don't really love, to be honest. This has that high-pitched whine a little bit, sort of like a high-revving combustion engine, but it also has a lower tone to it that I really love. This could be the sound of the future if electric motorcycles go where their proponents hope that they can go. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to these wonderful motorcycle engines. Be sure to leave a like, and if you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Ride safe.